κύριοι, καλησπέρα σας. Μια διαφορετική αυτή τη φορά εκπομπή, παύλα συνέντευξη. Έχουμε κοντά μας τον προπονητή, τον οποίο προετοίμαζε όλο αυτό τον καιρό, τους 2-3 μήνες του καλοκαιριού, μεγάλους αθλητές, όπως είναι ο EuroLeague MVP, ο Kendrick Nunn, όπως είναι ο Kostas Antetokounmpo, όπως είναι ο Bogdan, όπως είναι πάρα πολλοί αθλητές. Είναι, νομίζω, θα συμφωνήσουμε όλοι, ένα πάρα πολύ σημαντικό, ένα πολύ σημαντικό κομμάτι για την εξέλιξη ενός αθλητή, η προετοιμασία η οποία κάνει το καλοκαίρι, και νομίζω ότι έχουμε τον κατάλληλο άνθρωπο κοντά μας, παύλα μακριά μας, γιατί είναι και από το Μαϊάμι και τις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες της Αμερικής. Είναι ο Felix Flores, όπως θέλει να τον αποκαλούμε, και νομίζω ότι είναι ο άνθρωπος ο οποίος θα μας δώσει τα φώτα του και θα μας εξηγήσει τι κάνουν οι αθλητές στην off-season και γενικότερα ποια είναι η εικόνα όλων αυτών των παικτών σε μια off-season και πώς προετοιμάζονται για την χρονιά. Σπύρο, καλησπέρα. Νομίζω ότι είναι μεγάλη μας τιμή και μεγάλη μας χαρά να έχουμε τον Φέλιξ έστω και από μακριά στην παρέα μας, και νομίζω ότι έχουμε πάρα πολλά να πούμε και πάρα πολλά να μάθει και ο κόσμος.
So, Felix, before we get started, let me introduce you to our audience. Felix Flores, originally from Puerto Rico and currently based in Miami, sports professional coach working with athletes such as Kendrick Nunn, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Colin Sexton, Gary Trent Jr., and many more. So many that it will take us hours to name them all. Ladies and gentlemen, Felix Flores, the man himself. Welcome to the show. Felix, it's a pleasure having you here with us. Thank you very much. First things first, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's 7 a.m. in the morning time in Miami, so, just getting my day started. So it's a pleasure to start, with this interview with you guys this morning and just kind of share some insight of, what we do in the off season and how we kind of operate down here in Miami for those 3 to 4 months where we have our players here in the off season.
Mm-hmm. So I did the intro in the Greek language. Did you understand anything? You said kalimera in our message.
Yeah. So I don't understand because it was too fast. But when I like to travel, I like to learn the language. So I had the opportunity to be in Greece in May, and I got really I experienced the culture. So the food, the people, it was amazing. But I haven't caught up on the language yet. But while I train Kendrick Nunn, we try to learn Greek. So what we do is when we do our repetitions, I try to count in Greek, like 1, 2. So I'm trying to work on my Greek, but all in all, it's interesting just to hear the language and just try to learn from it because, if I'm coming to Greece, I want to learn how you guys do things and be a part of your culture.
Yeah. First of all, we have to focus on yourself and your whole career. What was your dream when you were a kid? Was it this that you are doing right now with the athletes and to work with professional athletes to prepare them for the seasons?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my whole entire life, I wanted to be in the NBA. I thought I was going to be an NBA player. All right, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to go to the NBA. I'm going to make it. But as I started to get older and I stopped growing. That's just really much it. So, my height, I wasn't able to play basketball, but I was fortunate enough to use my skill set and my passion for basketball to help athletes in the professional league. So even though I didn't make it professionally, I feel like I've accomplished my dream by working with pro athletes and achieving something that I set out for. So it's been going on now. I started training in 2013. So we're going on 11 full years actually 14 years of training. And it's been great. It's something that I always wanted to do. And I think Miami is a great place for professional athletes just because we're in Miami and it's summer year round. And it's an opportunity for them to come to Miami, enjoy the training, enjoy the facility, but then also they can do activities with their families. There's a lot of things to do here in Miami, or even just traveling to South America, the Caribbean. It's an easy travel for them. So that's why a lot of athletes like to come to Miami. And what better way to train and enjoy yourself after your training?
So I want to, can I have the right to tell you coach?
For sure. If you like coach is fine with me. Not a problem at all.
So, what does a coach like you do? How do you create a
Yeah.
program for each player? Do you design a separate plan for everyone, or do players ask you for specific things?
Yeah, for sure. So every athlete is different. While primarily basketball, a lot of the athletes, it's the same sport, but it's different positioning, right? So a guard is going to do different things from a center, and you have to individualize each workout. So a lot of the guys come to Miami with, things that they wanted to work on throughout the season, or they may be having some issues with an ankle or a knee that they want to make sure that, those pains and those discomforts go away. So a lot of the times when the guys come in, the first thing that we do is an assessment, and I just want to see where your body's at that moment. So we take measurements of your knee, your hip, your shoulder, your wrist, your spine, and based on those measurements, then we make a detailed program to decide what muscles should be stretched, what muscles should be strengthened, and then we also get the guys on force plates, and the force plates pretty much tell me how high they can jump, how fast the muscles can contract, if they're having asymmetry on the right or left side. So I get an assessment on the guys, and then based on that, I make the program for them. So there's going to be, if I have 3 different guys, there most likely be 3 different programs. Now, each one of them may do a squat, each one of them may do a box jump, but it's going to be different variations of those box jumps. So I may have somebody jump onto a box because they need to work on force production and power. And I may need to have somebody jump off the box and land on the floor because they need to work on deceleration and absorption. So I'm using the same type of equipment, the tool, the box, but it's different for each person. So the programs are definitely individualized. So that way it's specific to what they need and make sure that they improve on the adaptations and qualities that we're trying to work on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you present your job, but how do you feel about this program and specifically your job? How do you feel about that?
Or what you have created, for example?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's something great, right? I think that is a testament to the guys that come back year after year. They obviously enjoy what we do, how we operate, and how we approach the body and training. And I think this is one of the biggest things that, we have the advantage as far as just understanding the athletes. We talk to the coaches. Shout out to Papas Demetrius over at Pana. I talk to him a lot. We're constantly on a text message every week, just because it's a good way to collaborate with the strength and conditioning staff, with the physios, with the medical team, so that way we make sure that the athlete is ready to participate and perform at the highest level.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically we're in Greece, me and Mike. So we have to talk about the EuroLeague MVP, the Kendrick Nunn. How did your collaboration with Kendrick begin?
Man, so it's funny enough, Kendrick was coming into the facility, and he was training with my partner Remy. And at the time, I had met Kendrick in passing, said hi to him, but we've never actually worked together professionally. And he was finishing his basketball workout, and he was just watching me train. I didn't have a client at that hour, and he just simply watched me train. And afterwards, he's like, man, you do some explosive stuff, some of the stuff that I think can help my game, some things that make me more explosive, make me jump faster, quicker. So we kind of just built a relationship from there, and we've been going strong 3 years. And, it was something before he even knew what EuroLeague was, what this all would be now, right? Like, it was, a risk, and I'm glad he took it. He bet on himself, and Kendrick's an amazing worker. He loves what he does, and he's a great teammate to have and a great asset. So just by nature, we bonded, and we've been doing great work for the last 3 years. So it's been a great journey.
Okay, what is Kendrick like off the court? So we know what he's doing on the court, but off the court, is there something about his personality that would surprise some people?
Man, Kendrick's a big foodie. So when we were in Greece in May, we were going to all the restaurants. Like every day after practice, he's like, "Hey, Felix, what do you want to do for dinner? I know this nice spot." And he has a huge palate, so he likes eating all different types of food. And, I'm not usually eating raw fish or raw food. I was eating raw fish and raw food with Kendrick. So he's opened up my palate and just my experience over there in Athens with different foods and different dishes from Greece. So that's one thing. He's a big foodie.
So you have to tell us something. Where did you go with Kendrick Nunn and you said, "Wow, the food is amazing"? What
I think
place? Food?
Man, you guys are gonna kill me because I don't recall the restaurant. But maybe you guys can help me out because I remember the ambiance. So it was a steakhouse, and you talk to your waiter, and then you go over to this section where there's meat, and they pull out the meat out the refrigerator and they cut it right in front of you. Not sure if you guys know where this is at.
It was close to the sea or no? It was to the city center. Maybe you went to στα καλά καθούμενα, maybe.
Inside the restaurant, it was red lights. And dark.
Yeah. Εκεί είναι.
Yeah. That was the place, maybe. I think it was.
Yeah, great food. Going back again.
So, about Kendrick, what have been the biggest physical or mental challenges you have been worked on with him over the past few years? I think that you told us that you're working with him for the last 3 years, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
just something big we have to overcome. I think it's just so sometimes less is more. And Kendrick's type of person is that he wants to go over and beyond. So sometimes we have to dial back our training because he wants to go so hard. He's texting me on Sunday, Felix, we have to train. Saturday, we have to train. I'm like, Kendrick, relax. we have time. And, with him, that's great. As a sports performance coach, you want that. You want that enthusiasm. You want your player to always be working, right? Because that makes me want to do that much more better in what I do and how I coach him, right? So I think it's more so telling Kendrick to slow down sometimes because he likes to work hard and, you have to last the whole entire season. So we got to make sure we slowly ramp you up. And then when you get to the playoffs and the Final Four and the championship, you're peaking, right? We don't want to peak early in January. So it's more so just getting Kendrick to understand like, hey, we're going to do a little bit more recovery days, some more soft tissue work, some ice baths, some red light therapy, some more just regenerative kind of recovery practices so that you can get your body back onto the court. So hard worker, but sometimes I got to dial it down with him. The biggest things we did was we did an assessment, right? And for me, an assessment, what that does is it shows me what exactly we need to work on. So my biggest thing is when I'm working with an injury, I want to find out the source, why it's happening, not your knee hurts. Well, your knee hurts, but why does it hurt? Is it that your hip is rotated and flexed on one side? Is it that your QL is pulling your rib cage and your spine to one side? So you have to find out what the issue is, and then from there, then you attack the situation and the injury. So it's more so just having a good map of what the injury is, finding out how we can improve that, and then just following through at that for some time and seeing the results.
So we are in Greece, we are in Europe. Kendrick Nunn, he's a top tier player, EuroLeague star. A lot of people say, "Oh, Kendrick is not a good defender. He's not passing the ball." But you work with him, so what aspect of his game do you think it's the most underrated by the public?
The most underrated game, man. I think he's a great teammate. I think that when you get to know Kendrick and his personality, he puts the team first, and one of the biggest things is people like playing with him. Speaking to all his teammates last year, they love playing with him. So just his communication skills, his way to be a leader, I think he possesses those qualities, and that makes him makes him the MVP. Like there's a reason why. It's not just his basketball game and that he has a great offensive game, is that he makes the people around him better and they like him. And that's the huge difference.
So basically you have a very close relationship with Kendrick. Last year when he came back to start the season, he always said, "I want to win the MVP. I want to win the MVP. I want to be the MVP." This summer, what did he tell you?
He wanted to build off of last season. Obviously, even though he won that individual award, he was still upset because the end goal is to win, right? The championship, and they fell short of that. So, one of the biggest things that he wanted to work on is he wanted to work on his defense, and he wanted to work on his explosion and on his speed. So in this summer, we did a lot of workouts on the beach. We did a lot of plyometrics, a lot of jumping, a lot of running. And you kind of got a little sneak peek when they played in Australia and his dunking ability. So I was really happy to see that and see that he's off on the right start. So I think the things that we implemented this year so far have worked well. And I look forward to seeing how he progresses and leads the team going into this year.
So, if you had to describe him in only three words, what would they be?
Humble. Let's see, humble.
As an athlete and as a person.
As a person, yeah. I mean, hungry. Always hungry, right? 'Cause let me tell you something. There's a lot of stars that, they become stars and then they're complacent and they just, kind of go through the motions. Nah, this guy wants to get better. Like, you have no idea. Coming off an MVP, coming off a championship before, like, you would think, I'm all right. I play, play at the highest level. I had the highest achievements. No, this guy's, he's hungry. So hungry would be another adjective. And I would say, gosh, what's the last word? Kendrick.
Whatever comes first to your mind, whatever.
Just a good person, man. I genuinely, there's another reason why I like training. He's just a great person. Outside of training, outside the sets, the reps, the sprints, just to sit down and talk to him about life, talk to him about, where he wants to do in 2 to 3 years. Talk about his family, talk about things outside of sports, just life, right? I think that's huge, and that just builds on our relationship, and it makes, our training that much better because we understand one another, right? He comes from Chicago, I come from Miami, right? So we have similarities and we have differences, but, we find a way to just mutually respect each other and have a great time when we're training. So those are some of the few words, I describe about Kendrick. Great guy.
So, last two questions about Kendrick. You said that this off-season you worked a lot for his high jump, for his vertical.
Yeah.
What are the main priorities in this preparation you work with him? What are you working on most intensely, and what new things will we see in his game this season?
Yeah, for sure. So with Kendrick, obviously you see his game. He's great at decelerating. He's great at changing direction. He's explosive and he's quick. So first and foremost, we wanted to build some armor around him, right? We want to make him robust. We want to make him strong. So the first part of the offseason was just making him stronger, right? Doing a lot of upper body, making sure his legs are strong, and then working a lot barefoot. So I do a lot of barefoot training. We spend a lot of time with our feet inside the shoes, and over time, the shoes take our feet and they crowd them like this, right? So when you're trying to run and jump, your foot can't grip the floor. So we do a lot of training barefoot so that your foot can now send signals to your brain that originally would be slow, or they're not there anymore because we wear so many shoes. So we do a lot of barefoot training, and this reduces a lot of injuries because about 67% of basketball injuries are lower legs. So they're from the foot, they're from the ankle, they're from the tibia. So we spend a lot of time on just barefoot training, making sure that we're able to open and close our toes, making sure that we have good range of motion on our ankle with our Achilles and our calves. So we do a lot of barefoot training. And Kendrick's game is very explosive. So a lot of the training that we do is explosive. So we're jumping over hurdles, we're jumping on the boxes, jumping off of boxes. We have bands wrapped around his hips. He's sprinting. We go into the sand so that way we can have more of a lower impact that day. So we may do sprints in the sand. We maybe do some change of direction. So there's just various things that we do with him, but a lot of them, it's great because Kendrick's the type of player that you could do those kind of things, right? If he came in the offseason with, issues with his knee, then we have to dial back the training and kind of now go with the recovery, the treatment, and get his body back to 100%. But come into the season, because he's so explosive, because he takes good care of his body, we're able to really build on those things and really improve. So this year going into it, like I mentioned earlier, the Euro basket, he caught a nice little dunk in the middle of the paint, and he jumped off of 2 legs. If you notice Kendrick, he's a one-legged jumper. So when he goes and jumps, he jumps off of 1 leg on this
in Australia.
In Australia, yes. So in Australia, he was dribbling down, and he did he jumped onto 2 feet and then dunked the basketball. Usually he can only dunk on one. So he messaged me after the game. He's like, Felix, whatever we did this summer was great because I caught my first 2-hand dunk in my career. Usually I dunk with my foot. So obviously the work's translating, and he really enjoyed it. It was to the point where in Miami we have some stairs that I had the guys jump off of, and the stairs go up. And he messaged me, we have to do some more of that. So I went online and I tried to look in Greece where we can do some of those things. So when I head over there, we can do some of the plyometric jumps because it really helped him. And you're going to see some huge improvements with just explosiveness, his ability to play 40 minutes. Like, a lot of people don't know, EuroLeague basketball is aggressive. It's tough, right? Like, I've started to watch this now over the last 3 years, and just the development of, the guys playing there and just the aggressiveness, and every possession counts, right? You're going from the NBA 48 minutes now to 40. That's 8-minute difference.
And every game matters, not like
every
NBA.
game matters, like every game. So that's why I like it too. The stakes, the intensity are like this. Every game, it doesn't matter, every game. So it makes the game more entertaining, and Kendrick loves that, and that's who he is as a competitor. So this is why he thrives in that environment. He's going to arenas and crowds are yelling, but he thrives. That makes him want to do better.
So this year you came to Athens to train with Nunn. How did this happen, and what did you work on? And
for sure.
You gave us something before we start recording. You plan to come back soon, right?
Oh yes. So I'm looking to try to come back into October. So that'd be a great time. And I was there in May, and I have when any of the guys I work with, I try to have great relationships with them, right? With their skills coach, so the coach they do basketball with, and then also their team sports professionals, whether it be their medical staff or their strength and conditioning. So over in Pana, they have Demetrius, and he's a strength and conditioning coach, and I've built a relationship with him now going on 3 years. So me and him, like I mentioned earlier, we have almost a weekly text message about, hey, how's it going? How are things going with Kendrick? What has he been doing? And then I give my insight, hey, we worked on this, Demetrius. Maybe you can do a bit of ankle mobility, or maybe you can throw in an ISO. But being able to have a great relationship with the team allows you the ability to now collaborate with the team and the opportunity to come to Greece and work with them in season, because during this time, it's a very critical time, right? I came during right before the Final Four. So we want to make sure that things are going well. I don't want to come in and make him sore, make him tired, or just throw off his routine. So coming into Greece, me and Demetrius spoke on the phone, and we were talking about how we should approach it while I'm here, and they're amazing. While we came, the majority of the work that we did was just pretty much just preventative and restoration and range of motion. So we did a lot of shoulder mobility, ankle mobility exercises, did some postural exercises, and then just did a few plyometrics, lower level plyos, just to make sure that his body's ready. But during season, you don't want to switch up too much of the routine, because then you're going to create some type of soreness or just something that just may be off, that throws off the player. So just coming in and just complimenting what they're doing is what I did, and how I approach when I work with the team and a player in season.
Is it true that Kendrick practices like 6 hours per day? Is it true that?
I don't know if it's 6, but it's close. Just because, like I said earlier, he's a hard worker. He always wants to work, and less is more sometimes. So I want to show him that you can work really hard and then take a little break, because you don't want to overtrain and you don't want to burn yourself out. So just, like I say, like dialing it back and just doing more of the recovery things, right? That'll help him out and give him more of an edge later on into the season.
So you're training with Kendrick. How long does it take? How long?
Oh man. So give or take, we might go from an hour and a half to 2 hours, just depending on the day. But what a typical day looks like is he comes into the facility, we do some ankle mobility exercises, we do some barefoot training, we do some mobility, and then we get into some preparation and activation, so that maybe some band walks, maybe some skipping, just a full body routine, like a warm up, so that way he can get his body ready. And the first thing that we do when we train is change of direction and agility. So I might be throwing tennis balls left to right, and he's running, grabbing one tennis ball, running to the next tennis ball. I may have him run around cones. And then we get into our plyometrics. So, you know, jumping over things, jumping on the boxes, jumping off the boxes, doing single leg jumps, all those types of things I would do second. And then from there, we get into our strength training. And then we do like our accessory work, you know, the muscle groups that, you know, like our bicep curls and our triceps, but we leave that towards the end. And he really likes that. I like doing that for the guys because, you know, if some guys don't like squatting, right? But if I give them bicep curls at the end, they're like, man, great, man, I feel good, look good. So like it's a mind game, right? It's a psychological game. So make sure we get all the things that we need to get into, and then we can do some of the, you know, the things that I don't really place a lot of emphasis on, right? So that helps me with the guys and build, you know, a buy-in with them.
Nice.
And then food.
Exactly.
Okay, you didn't work only with Kendrick Nunn this summer. You
Yes.
worked with another green man, Omer Yourtseven, with another red man now, Kostas Antetokounmpo. You worked with a lot of players this summer. So which one stood out to you, and who do you believe will have a breakout season? And with Chris Silva of Ike.
Yes, Chris. I have a lot of guys there, man. It's funny because before going into this year, you know, I didn't have a clue I was gonna have all these guys there, but obviously Omer returned. Chris is in Greece now, and then Kostas is with Olympiacos, so it kind of just fell into place. And all those guys are great. I think you're gonna see Kostas have a great year just because he kind of showcased that during EuroBasket this year. He came to Miami and trained me for a month, and I think we made huge improvements, even though it was 4 weeks, because it was specific, it was specialized, and Kostas locked in. Like, he was locked in and ready to go. So
he was the first in the list with the blocks.
Exactly. So he played really great, and I think it was just a testament to him. After his season ended, he reached out to me. So funny story, him, Kendrick, and the Antetokounmpo brothers kind of spoke in the Final Four in Abu Dhabi. They came out to support him and watch him and so forth. And coach was asking, like, hey, I'm thinking about coming to the States. You know, where do you think where I should train at? And he obviously mentioned the Miami perimeter. And he mentioned he should come work with me and Stanley Remy, my partner, my basketball skills trainer partner. And, you know, from there, coaches came down and we worked for 4 weeks. And, you know, a big thing we worked with him is just making sure that his legs are really strong and he was explosive. And just making sure that his ankles, his hips were mobile, they were moving, they weren't stiff. And as you've seen going into the EuroBasket, he was going crazy, blocking everything, dunking everything. And he really showcased that, you know, what he's capable of doing. So I think he's going to take that momentum going in. But we can't forget about my man, Omer. Omer is my guy. Like, he's great, man. A great person, funny guy. And he's a hard worker. So you're going to see him have a breakout season 2. My guy, Omer.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
So I want to ask you something. Because you're also training with players who playing in the NBA and players who are playing in the Europe. What's the differences between the training of the NBA players and the players of the EuroLeague? What differences?
So the game is different, right? There's 48 minutes played in NBA. There's 40 minutes played in Euro. In the NBA, if you do this, it's foul. In EuroLeague, you can get checked and they won't call it. So I think the biggest just difference is the obviously the duration of the game and the physicality of the game. So it's not any different as far as how I train them. You know, they both play basketball, right? They both change directions every 2 to 3 seconds. They change direction in basketball. 33% of the game is played in the frontal plane, meaning like side to side, right? And 67% of injuries in basketball are lower leg injuries. So knowing just those things, I make sure that my training focuses on those things because it's specific. And everything else just kind of falls in place. Now I'm gonna tell you the biggest difference though, the off season. All right, if you're playing Euro basketball, you may have only a month to maybe a month and a half because a lot of these guys go play for their national teams. So how you structure their off season is huge. I can have an NBA guy who people may not make the playoffs, and they may be in Miami from May 1st all the way to September 1st.
For example, Colin Sexton, he was in Utah.
Exactly. So he was in Utah, got traded to Charlotte. They didn't make the playoffs, so his offseason started early. It started in the May timeframe. But a guy like let's just say Gary Trent, who went into the playoffs, he came later on. He came towards June. So when you have that month gap, obviously the training has to be different. I can't start Gary Trent where I had somebody, Colin Sexton, in the beginning, right? I have to slowly progress them. So I think offseason is the biggest. And then in EuroLeague, like I said, you may have a month and a half if you go to your national team. So we have to be strategic on how we approach training. So that's where we have the talks with the players before they come in. Hey, one of our first questions is, how long are you going to be here? What do you plan on doing in this summer? And how do you want to approach, going to the next season? And then from there, we build the plan. So the biggest difference is definitely the off season and how you approach it, just because the NBA has a longer off season and then Euro is much shorter.
Mm-hmm. Last question. What do you think a young player who wants to make it into the league, in the EuroLeague, NBA, or to play basketball, what should they work on their body, on their basketball skills, on everything?
On their mindset, maybe. Their mindset.
Yeah, I think what players are missing now is everybody wants to be really great on the court. Everybody wants to be able to shoot the three-pointer. Everybody wants to be able to dunk the basketball. But I think a lot of players and young players neglect just sports performance, just being able to have good mobility. Are your ankles mobile? Are your hips mobile? Can you move your shoulders in all directions? Do you have good posture, or are you on your phone all the time, slouched over? Are you practicing conditioning, or is your conditioning just playing basketball, right? Are you practicing on speed, or do you think speed is playing basketball and dribbling past somebody, right? Do you do strength training, or do you think that, when you go in between your legs 5 times, that's doing lunges, right? I feel like a lot of the players need to focus on being strong and being injury-free and just making sure that they do a lot of recovery. And when I mean by recovery, stretching, eating properly, hydrating, going to sleep, sleeping at least 8 hours a day, all these other things that you don't think about throughout the day that actually help your performance. Because a lot of times everybody wants to go shoot free throws, shoot threes, but at the end of the day, if you would maybe take one day of basketball away and then do a lower body, routine for plyometrics and changing direction, now maybe when you're dribbling the ball between your legs, it's faster, or you're able to jump quicker, or now, after 2 games, your ankle hurts. And now after you play 10 games, your ankle doesn't hurt anymore, right? Those are the things that make a difference. So I think youth athletes just need to work on, yes, their body, but just make sure that they have a good routine that they do weekly, over months, over years, so that now you don't have any ankle injuries. Now your legs are strong. You have good core stability. So when you're driving to the basket and someone bumps you, you don't fall over. You resist that contact and you finish. So just working on those things are huge. And I think they kind of just overpass. So they're like, no, I don't want to do that, or I don't like doing it. It's a necessity and it's a need and it's a priority. And with a lot of injuries happening nowadays, I think it's something that athletes have to do to have the competitive edge. Because I go by this quote, your best ability is availability. If you can be fast, quick, you're skillful, but you're always hurt, what good can you do for the team? You can't do anything, right? So if you can prioritize your body and be healthy, you're that much more of an asset and value to the team.
So Felix, thank you so much for your time.
I think the title of our interview will be "Changing Directions," because in my we heard 5-6 times "changing directions." It's, I think, the most common thing that you said in our interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
We're waiting for you in Athens, to go in Souvlaki, because
of course
I don't think that Kendrick with Kendrick you didn't go to the best place for Souvlaki.
Souvlaki is a Greek typical food. I don't
Greek
know
gyro. Do you know it?
Yeah, I've had it before for sure. Listen, I've had a little of everything. So in the morning time, every morning I go to the cafe every morning, and there's this bread there. What's the bread? They sell the bread there.
Koulouri.
Koulouri.
Okay, Koulouri. Yes, I had that with my coffee.
With Freddo espresso or Freddo cappuccino?
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino. Freddo or you like it warm?
Warm is good.
You have to taste Freddo cappuccino or Freddo espresso. It's
Really?
It's something it will make it all in Greece. You have to taste it.
All right. Well, then when I come, then you have to take me to the place then.
We will. So thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best.
Yes, and Sasi Faristo.
Σε ευχαριστούμε και εμείς.
Thank you very
so
much.
much,
Take it easy,
Felix.
fellas.
Thank you.
Bye.
Αυτός λοιπόν ήταν ο Felix Flores. Νομίζω την απολαύσαμε και οι δύο, και οι τρεις μάλλον, την συνέντευξη. Είχε πάρα πολύ πλάκα.
Έχει μ' αρέσει η ενέργειά του. Έτσι είναι αυτοί οι Πορτορικάνοι Αμερικάνοι και μας έχει δώσει ωραία τετλάκια. Δηλαδή ότι ο Ναν είναι foodie και τρελαίνεται με το φαγητό και με πηγαίνει από εδώ από εκεί. Ότι ήρθα στην Ελλάδα, τρελάθηκα με το κουλούρι. Ότι εγώ και καρχάς δεν ήξερα ότι δουλεύοντας χωρίς παπούτσι, ξυπόλυτος, σε βοηθάει στο να πατάς καλύτερα το σώμα σου και να μειώνεις τους πιθανότητες τραυματισμού, γιατί είπε το 7 με 10% ή 6-7% τραυματισμών προέρχεται από το lower body των ποδιών. Έχει δώσει
δουλεύει πάρα πολύ.
Τρομερές πληροφορίες. Πρέπει να τον κάνουν follow τα παιδιά στο Instagram.
Ναι.
Felix Flores.
Πολύ σημαντικούς αθλητές, πολύ σπουδαίους αθλητές. Κάνει πράγματα τα οποία δεν βλέπει συχνά. Δηλαδή το ότι βγαίνουν στην παραλία του Μαϊάμι, άμα δείτε τα βιντεάκια, και τρέχουν με βάρη ή σπρώχνουν αμάξια. Γιατί επειδή έψαξα λίγο το προφίλ του, υπάρχουν ασκήσεις οι οποίες
θα βάλεις κανένα βιντεάκι έτσι όπως μιλάμε.
Θα βάλω σίγουρα. Θα βάλουμε βιντεάκια, θα βάλουμε φωτογραφίες, θα τα βάλουμε όλα. Τον περιμένουμε τον Οκτώβριο στην Αθήνα για να τον κεράσουμε κι εμείς. Εντάξει, όχι εκεί που τον πήγε ο Kendrick Nunn, γιατί δεν έχουμε φτάσει ακόμα σε αυτό το σημείο ως Basketballmaniacs. Αλλά ένα σουβλάκι στο Θανάση μπορούμε να τον κεράσουμε, νομίζω. Οπότε τον περιμένουμε και στην Αθήνα για να τον συναντήσουμε και από κοντά. Νομίζω θα είναι κάτι σπουδαίο.
Θα τον ευχαριστήσουμε και στα ελληνικά για τον χρόνο.
Θα τον ευχαριστήσουμε πάρα πολύ.
Τώρα, ο άνθρωπος σήμερα σε 7 η ώρα το πρωί πρέπει στις 8-9 η ώρα να πηγαίνει στο γυμναστήριο για να κάνει προπονήσεις με τους παίκτες. Και ήταν εδώ μαζί μας. Τον ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, πραγματικά, που δέχτηκε την πρόσκληση και αμέσως. Let's do it. Μόλις το έστειλες, μείνου εσύ.
Ναι.
Τον ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Τα λέμε στην επόμενη συνέντευξη, η οποία δεν ξέρουμε ακόμα πότε θα είναι, αλλά θα είναι σύντομα. Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ. Μείνετε συντονισμένοι στους Basketballmaniacs. Καλή συνέχεια σε όλους.